Hey guys, welcome to Tyson's Fitness Tips podcast. If you want to lose weight, increase your energy, improve your health and fitness, and look your best, then you have come to the right place. My name is Tyson Brown. I'm a personal trainer, and my job is to help you transform your body by sharing with you the most up-to-date information on health and fitness. I'm going to distill it all down for you into bite-sized actionable steps that you can take immediately to see results quickly. Now, every Tuesday and Thursday, you can expect a brand new episode, which will be a mixture of interviews with top experts from around the world in the fitness space, and as well as solo episodes from myself, sharing with you exactly what action steps you need to take to transform your health, your body, and your life. And that means you are going to get information from all different areas in regards to mindset, nutrition, fitness, things you wouldn't even think that are associated with your health and fitness, but are going to blow your mind. So let's get into the episode. Hey, before we get into the episode, I just want to let you know my brand new book, Ditch the Diet, has just come out and I'm giving away a couple of free copies. So if you want to go into the draw to win a free copy, all you have to do is share this podcast on your Instagram. All you have to do is click the share button, go to Instagram, put it in your stories, and then tag at Tyson the Trainer, and you'll go in the running. All winners will get the free copy of my book sent straight to your door, and I'm telling you, this book will be a game changer. So that's, once again, all you have to do is make sure that you take a screenshot, you share this, and you tag me on Instagram, and you will go into the running. All right, let's get into the episode. All right, cool. Give me 2 seconds.
Hey.
What's going on, guys? Tyson Brown here, back with another episode of Tyson's Fitness Tips. Now, I'm pretty excited today, actually, because I get to bring on someone who is a little bit older than me, and he has such wisdom and knowledge. And the reason I wanted to bring him on today is because we always talk about health and fitness and, in the gym, pushing it hard. And you always associate that with that's cool, that's good for the younger guys. But when I get to my 30s or when I get to my 40s, I start to feel a bit beat up. But to be honest, you can be exercising for the rest of your life. And that's why I thought it was really important to bring Troy on today, because Troy is in his 40s. Troy is fit as fuck. I'm telling you right now, if you go and look at his Instagram, you're going to be very impressed. And I thought this would be a perfect opportunity for Troy to come on and talk about how he keeps fit and active all the time. So, Troy, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks, Tyson. That was a great intro, and I appreciate you. Obviously, we have the same surname too, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for allowing me to hop onto your great podcast. I'm really excited to talk to your listeners. It's going to be a great episode.
Yeah, dude. So first of all, tell us a bit more about yourself and what your background is. Where have you come from?
Well, as you can probably gather from the funny accent, I'm from London, England originally, a place called Hackney in East London. And born and bred there. I played very high level of soccer back in England. I actually turned professional as a soccer player when I was 17 and played for a team called Nottingham Forest. And that was amazing. That was a great achievement. And while playing for Nottingham Forest, I was very small. I weighed about 135 pounds soaking wet. And I was in a position where I was going to be released actually from the club. So the manager of the club told me, we're going to send you on loan and you're going to put on some weight so you can come back and play in the Premier League. So off I went on loan to this team called Northampton Town, and they put me on a special diet. I got lifting weights, and long story short, I ended up falling in love with weights. I ended up putting on about 20 pounds of muscle in about 2 months and got really involved in the bodybuilding community, started personal training people, and decided to do my first show in 2001 and got bitten by the bug ever since. Ended up doing 39 shows in total in my career. Turned professional as a bodybuilder in 2006, where I beat a 7-time Mr. Olympia Flex Lewis, and just retired from bodybuilding. I actually had a sabbatical in 2011, came back in 2015, got really injured, got torn my tricep, and I tore my pec in that time. And here I am today, age 41, and trying to stay fit, trying to stay healthy, trying to stay in shape and be, that ambassador for health and fitness for men in their 40s. and I'm training differently now, trying to train a lot smarter and more instinctively, but no more ego anymore, no more heavy weights due to the injury. So I think what I'm trying to do now is really trying to help men understand that they need to train smarter in their 40s. And if you've been banging the weights like I have for so many years, then you have to do a lot more mobility, a lot more stretching, and you really have to take your health into consideration. So you have to be really more due diligent with your nutrition and really live the lifestyle, 24/7, if you will. So here I am today with an online business called Apex Physiques, and this is where I am today, enjoying life and sharing my jewels of wisdom with people very similar to yourself, Tyson. So I'm really grateful that I have the opportunity to be on this podcast.
Oh, mate, what a journey you have been on through the years. And it's funny, like you said in 2000, which I caught a really big important point. You said in 2015 you injured your pec and you injured your tricep, but you did not let that stop you. Like, you actually learned from that mistake and you started making changes in your health and fitness, but you didn't let that injury put you out and stop exercising altogether.
Yeah, I mean, that's really thank you so much. I mean, it was tough when I got the injury because I was all destined to get back on stage again and compete, and that was my goal. And I really believe now it was a blessing in disguise. I really think that it was a different path for me was about to embark on. So when I got injured, when I originally tore my tricep, I actually tore it in 2010. I actually didn't know till I got further examination from a doctor out in Toronto. And he said that you actually tore your tricep, the long head of the tricep. So that was in 2010. And that was on the right side of my shoulder. So I remember going into the gym in 2015, all great. My off season was going great. My nutrition was in point, and I was destined to come back to the competition stage the year after that. So when I tore my pec, I remember I was doing close grip bench presses. It was my last rep, Tyson. It was my last set. It was my last rep. And I was only lifting like 225, close grip bench, and I tore the pec, and I knew right there my career was done. But I must say this to the listeners, that I went through a good, I would say, a year and 6 months of depression and major anxiety, not knowing what I was going to do next because my career was over. So if it wasn't for my better half, Jasmine, and having a mentor and a coach guide me through those tough times, I don't think I would be where I am today. I probably would be, I don't know, somewhere back in the UK, even more depressed. So that's the part of the journey, and I've learned from it. But now I preach to the older gentlemen that are out there that you got to train smart, and you can't be lifting heavy amounts of weight week in, week out, because it's going to catch up with you. So I'm a big advocate of stretching, mobility before you train, making sure you do your external, internal rotation work and foam rolling, and making sure that once a week on your days off that you spend a good hour stretching and doing your mobility, so that way you keep your body nice and optimal. But it's essential as you get older, us men, that we've got to take care of ourselves, and we've got to maybe even look at our nutrition and clean it up even more, especially as we get older, especially if we want, to maintain that lean body fat, so to speak, and also keep the six pack. I mean, I get a lot of men messaging me, Tyson, and they talk about, oh, I have the money, I have the relationships, I've got the career, but there's one key component missing, and that is their health. And I believe that should be right at the head of the list.
Absolutely. Without your health, you can't do anything, right? And people, it's not that immediate thing that's always in our face, which is why people don't think about it. But they've got to realize, you could have, like you said, all the money in the world, the family and everything, but if you don't have your health, you don't know how quickly that thing can just go and turn exactly like that. So you need to make sure you're making health a priority. It's not a priorities. It's the first priority that you need to take care of in the first thing of the day.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. I completely agree with you. You're right on the money there, Tyson. Absolutely.
So, Troy, coming into your late 30s and 40s, how has your training changed over time? Give us an idea about what you're doing at the moment, and what should guys really be focusing on when they're in the gym when they're getting older?
It's a really good question. It's all based on what the objective is, what the goal. But I'm assuming that the majority of men that are listening right now, let's say their goal is just to stay lean and stay in shape and have a good sense of muscle mass on their body. I mean, we all want to look a certain way. We might not want to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but some muscle doesn't hurt anybody. So let's say that's what the objective is. So right now I'm doing, I would say anywhere between 4 days of lifting a week. But I spend more time stretching and doing mobility work than I actually do with the weights. So I may spend more time in the morning doing, vigorous, stretch and mobility work in the morning before I hit the gym. And I'll also spend a good 20 minutes pre-workout doing my mobility and stretching. But with my training, I do a lot of time under tension. I do a lot of tempo training. I've created a training philosophy called Governor, GUV''NA, which is kind of a leadership program, if you will, for men. But it really goes into a lot of the high intensity principles, but training in a very smart way. So understanding that the body doesn't know if you're lifting 300 pounds or 100 pounds when you put the body under a time under tension format. So that's sort of my expertise is training, but understanding that due to all the injuries, they have been a blessing in disguise because it's allowed me to take a step back, assess what I'm doing, assess that all the years of abuse that I put on my body, all the crazy, over 600 pound deadlifts for repetitions and squatting 600 pounds and, doing stupid things, shoulder pressing 150 pound dumbbells in each hand. That's great, but it's going to catch up with you in the long run. So now it's all about training in a manner of doing a lot of pre-exhausting the muscle. So when I do those compound lifts, the body can't distinguish if I'm lifting 400 pounds or 100 pounds. So I do a lot of pre-exhaust, but my key is time under tension. And I do a lot of making sure I can really connect the mind-muscle connection, because that's something that I preach time and time again. So it takes time to train this way, and it really affects the ego, because a lot of men I work with want to go in the gym and beast it. But I believe in what I call least mode. A good friend of mine, Luke Lehman, talks about this. He actually lives in Australia, I believe. He's from the States. But he talks about how men have this mentality where they want to go in the gym and just do the beast mode mentality, train 6 days a week, twice a day, be in the gym 2-3 hours at a time. And we all know that's unattainable as we get older. So I try and simplify everything and give athletes and my clients more bang for their buck when they go in the gym. And that is smart training and a more of a sort of better approach to training. But it really affects the ego. A lot of men want to go in there and bench press 400 pounds. And that's great, but if you're looking for that aesthetic piece, that athletic look, then you've got to take the ego out of it and start training smart instead of allowing the ego to take over, if that makes sense.
Oh, dude, I love that. It's I actually haven't really heard of that technique before, but like the pre-exhaustion thing for older people, like for people who are older, it's so much easier to get a better bang for your buck and play it safer, because there's a lot when you see on Instagram and Facebook and all the marketing, it is marketed towards the younger generation. You've got to squat heavy, you've got to deadlift heavy, and there's a time and a place for those things. But the older you get, you can still make good results in the gym and fatigue your muscles by using safer exercises that are going to reduce the chance of injury.
Absolutely, you hit the nail on the head, and I think that's probably why I'm a big fan of the pre-exhaust system, because when you pre-exhaust the muscle, let's say you do legs as an example, and you do maybe 4 or 5 sets of leg extension to pre-exhaust the muscle, by the time you get to a big compound lift like a squat or a leg press, you're a lot weaker, but you're putting the body in such a safer position, and as you mentioned earlier, less risk of injury. But the amount of connection that you'll get from the mind-muscle connection is so much greater, as opposed to just going into a movement where you're not fully warmed up. So I think using the pre-exhaust technique allows the muscles to fully warm up, but you're just playing a safer card and you're allowing to get an effective workout long term. And that's what it's all about. This is about longevity. I want the people that I work with, I want these men to have longevity, and I don't want them to go in the gym and start throwing around stupid weights. I mean, I saw someone the other day, last week, Tyson, I was training, and the guy was bench pressing, I would say 375, and he was flat bench pressing. Didn't really warm up properly because I could see him at the corner of my eye. And yes, he tore his pec. And this seems to be a common thread that happens all the time now. There's a lot of people now in this day and age, for some bizarre reason, I don't know if it's a nutritional thing, but more people are tearing muscles more than ever before. And I think it's because of maybe social media. There's a lot more pressure. There's a lot more pressure to be in shape. And maybe people are abusing the super supplements, so to speak, quote unquote, and they're not allowing their body to rest, and they're not allowing their body to recuperate properly. So if you're pounding the drugs and you're not really paying attention to your nutrition, and you're pounding the heavy lifts time and time again, week after week, month after month, year after year, you're asking for trouble. So what I try and do, Tyson, is I really put the simple back into physique transformation, into body transformation, because what I find now, Tyson, more than ever, so many men and women, the information's out there. We can go on Google, we can download programs, we can download nutritional programs for free, we can download training programs for free. There's tons of training and nutritional advice on YouTube. What's the problem? The reason why people aren't getting the results, the reason why obesity is rising, the reason why more and more men are getting out of shape is because they lack one key component, and that is, number one, hiring a coach. Number two, they need accountability, and that's why they're not achieving their goals. So there's great programs out there, not knocking them. They're amazing and they work, but why aren't people getting results? It's because they lack a coach and they lack the accountability piece, which is a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, but it's so important you say that, because like you said, like everyone has that information at the fingertips. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. But there's one thing to know and there's another thing to do. And if you can't do, there is no shame or no embarrassment in just saying, hey, you know what? I need to get somebody else to help me out. Because when it comes to running my fitness business, I have a coach. I even have my own trainer to help me see the gaps in my training, so I can always be on top of my game. And having someone there from an outside perspective who hasn't got the emotion that you get in there, like when you're like, oh, I want to go push it really hard in the gym, I want to go hard, and they're taking logical perspective, it's going to make you safer in the gym and get better results.
Well said. I completely agree with you 100%. I think I read once, I can't remember who it was. There was a gentleman, it could have been, I think, what's the guy's name? The Microsoft guy, Bill Gates. I think he said once, everyone needs a coach. It doesn't matter whether you're a basketball player, a tennis player, or a gymnast, or a bridge player. Everybody needs a coach. So if it's good for Tiger Woods and Michael Jordan, then everyone else should have a coach. And I'm like you, Tyson. I have a coach for our business. I have a coach who does our nutrition, for our training, because we understand that success leaves clues. But even us, as these high-level athletes that are always in shape, we have times where we don't want to follow our programs. But when you're accountable to someone, not only do you don't want to let yourself down, you don't want to let the coach down. So I'm a big fan that people, if they want to get results, success leaves clues. And if you really are serious about a goal, then you need to get coaching. You need to get expert coaching from someone that has a proven track record and that knows how to get people to a result. And I always believe in this as well. If your mentor or coach does not practice what they preach, honestly, you need to fire them. So I'm a big fan that a coach needs to practice what they preach, and they need to basically get in the trenches with their clients as well, if that makes sense.
Oh man, that is so true. And you can see on their record, that's why we have social media these days, guys. You can Google the person, you can look at it, don't just go through the Instagram and look at the photos. Go and actually do some research and see, what history do they have, what certificates do they have. Make sure they're walking the walk and not just talking the talk.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And no disrespect to anybody that is a coach out there, but there is a lot of coaches out there that really are interested in one thing, and that's really the bottom line. They're more interested about making a quick buck, whereas opposed as a client, when you have a client that comes on board under your umbrella, they are your business card. So you need to take and make sure that you go the extra mile for your client and give them the tools. I mean, I always say that we're responsible to them, we're not responsible for them. We're responsible to give them the information. But at the end of the day, they are a business card. So it's important that you do go the extra mile for your clients and give them the value of service that they deserve, because there is some coaches out there that don't really want to go the extra mile, maybe because they've got too many clients. I don't know. But it really is, it makes a huge difference when you do go the extra mile for your clients, because it makes you sleep better at night.
Yeah, absolutely. So Troy, going back to what we just were covering, we talked about the workout side of things and the pre-exhaustion, which I really like that technique, because it's a practical thing people can go out and try straight away. Leg extensions before they go and do some squats, or they can do some push-ups before they do bench press. Things that are going to keep them safe, that are going to get the blood flowing through the muscle, and that really start to warm that muscle up. So I really, really like that tip. Now, when it comes to taking care of nutrition, what's something that guys can start applying right away? Is it like, we know about the meal prep on the Sunday, but is there other options that we can start focusing on to make sure our nutrition's on point too? Because like you said, if you're tearing muscles, if you're causing injury, it could be because of your workout, but it could be because of the quality of food you're having.
Yeah, that's a very good question, a great point you just made. So I think when I'm taking on a man, let's say, for example, a man that's in his early 40s that really has let himself go, his health isn't really the best, and he has those other three pillars that I spoke about, the relationship, the career, and the finances, but he really lacks the health. So if I'm taking on that individual, the first thing we would do is we would assess his nutrition. All we would do is just clean it up. We wouldn't get too scientific in the beginning, because I've realized in my 25 years as a coach is that when you put people on, meal plans or you make it a little bit too intimidating, they tend to not stick to it. So all I would say to them in the beginning, or if someone's listening right now, if you're that individual, you're that man that's really trying to get your health in order, just know that it's a marathon, not a sprint. But the first thing you want to do for the first couple of weeks is just clean up your nutrition with whole foods, and then assess from there. I would do that for a couple of weeks. Just clean things up, get back to the basics, I think people get a little bit too scientific in the beginning with all this information and all these different nutrition protocols that are out there, not knocking them, but most people that we speak to want to do, the ketos and the paleo diets, but they don't even have the water intact. They're not even drinking half of their body weight in ounces. They're not even getting, 7-8 hours of sleep a night. They're not even thinking about stress management. They're not even doing the basics. And I think do the basics, do them often and do them well. Once you've got the basics down pat, you've got that foundation laid, then you can start looking at other scientific ways, to get you to your destination. But I'm a big fan of the basics. I think more and more people need to get back to the basics of just being mindful, getting back to intuitive eating, drinking water, making sure that they are getting their macronutrients in, the basics, and clean up the nutrition first. I think before you get on a diet, quote unquote, quotation marks going off of here, but first thing you want to do is just clean it up. Clean up your nutrition first. Start eating whole foods. Do that for a couple of weeks. You're going to feel amazing just by doing that, just from cleaning things up. Obviously, you may get some cravings because you've gone from maybe eating a lot of junk food to cleaning up your nutrition. You're going to get some cravings there, but this is why it's essential to have the coach, because a coach could tell you this. Be aware that this could happen, that could happen, So I think get back to the basics, get back to getting good night's sleep, because sleep's imperative. We all know the benefits of sleep. Get back to drinking water, get back to, making sure that you are eating whole foods again. And I would say in moderation, which is the spice of life. We all talk about moderation. It's a term that's used a lot in our industry, but it's so true. I believe in, 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, you want to eat clean and healthy. And then 20%, you can sort of zig and zag a little bit. But I think the problem in this day and age, Tyson, is people are very impatient and they all want to be in shape tomorrow. And they just lack persistence and patience. And they got to understand, how long did it take you to get out of shape? If it took a long time to get out of shape, how long is it going to take you to get back into shape? So all I'm trying to do is just really keep transformation very, very simple and not complicate things.
Oh, dude, I love that point, because it's funny. One thing you said there is everyone is looking for that quick fix result. They want to get on the next diet. They want to do something like that. But if you aren't even hydrating yourself, if you aren't even getting the basics down pat, you shouldn't even be worrying about these diets, because yes, of course, you're going to see results with them because you've had such a shitty diet in the meantime. But instead of going to this balls to the wall extreme, you can start seeing some results and start getting some pretty early wins by just making a few small tweaks, eating healthier food, cutting out most of your junk food, following the 80-20 approach. And it's just going from there. It's just making those tweaks. It's not going crazy and thinking I've got to cut out all carbs because they're evil, or I've got to go vegan and cut out all meat. Like, those are very, very extreme things, and a lot of them aren't sustainable for the long run.
And we're seeing evidence of this time and time again, right? And people that are probably listening right now probably know someone, or they may have been through this themselves, where they'll try a diet. They might try, paleo as an example, or keto, and they'll get in good shape, and then they maybe put it all back on again. And maybe right there, that's a sign that that's not sustainable. So I think we got to look for things that are sustainable, things that you can do consistently for the rest of your life. And here's that word again, lifestyle, quote unquote. We got to make it a fit into the client's lifestyle. And if they can do it day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, then we know we're onto something. So I think we just, like I said, we got to get back to the basics, and we got to get out of the microwave society mentality, because that's what seems to really hold people back. And it's not the consumer's fault. It's media, it's social media, it's the tabloids and newspapers. They show that lose 30 pounds in 3 days, and get rock hard abs in a week. So it's the instant gratification mentality which frustrates me as a coach, and people buy into it time and time again. But we all know that there's no quick fix.
That's exactly right. There is no quick fix, and people are going to be upset. They're going to be like, oh, well, I've been told by this person. But at the end of the day, we're telling you the truth, so you aren't going to go backwards when you actually get those results either.
Yeah. And I think back to your point about helping someone in the beginning with their transformation, about just cleaning up their nutrition. I think just doing that alone, that's a great first step. Instead of going from the extreme of maybe eating unhealthily all your life to literally going pure keto, like you said earlier, that's just a huge extreme. And you're setting yourself up for failure already just by doing that. So why not start out slow and steady? It's that compound effect, penny doubled every day. If you're doing something consistently over time, you're going to create tons of momentum. But in order to get momentum, there's got to be some consistency, and you got to get someone to hold you accountable and call you out on your BS when you're not following through, especially if you have a goal. And just lately, as a coach, I've really given my clients deadlines, and I've been allowing them to have wins along the way. I think a client has to celebrate some type of win. Like, for example, if they've been able to stick to their nutrition for 7 days, then there's got to be a reward. Not saying like there's got to be a food reward, but maybe do something nice for yourself. Celebrate those little non-scale victories. Celebrate the victories along the way. And if you do celebrate those little victories along the way, the chances of you being successful and following through to the end destination goal, which, by the way, health and fitness doesn't have an expiry date. But if you celebrate along the way, the chances of you having permanent change are going to be a lot higher, because you are valuing yourself, you're valuing your health, and your self-esteem and your self-confidence is going to grow because of that.
Oh, mate, Troy, I'm glad to hear we have so many, we resonate with so many things, even though like our age is different. Like, that does not change what's most important, and that's why it's really cool that you came on today, because we talked about a couple of things that guys can change, but at the end of the day, it comes down to those very basic important things that you should be following at any age of your life to be able to achieve that. And also, when you said about
so true.
One thing you said, which was very good, is reward yourself, but don't make food the reward. Like, so many, like, that's what we think we are, right? Oh, I've been good on my diet, I'm gonna have a cheat meal, or I'm gonna go and drink all this wine, or I'm gonna do whatever. It's like, why don't you reward yourself with a massage? Why don't you reward yourself with a little mini trip, something that's actually going to give you good value, instead of thinking, now I can have this quote unquote bad food as a reward, because you're not a dog, and you're teaching yourself the wrong habits.
And here's the thing with that is, if you're a father or a mother and you are doing those things as rewards, like food and alcohol, and your kids are watching you, your kids are, they model their environment, if you will. But I always talk about, just lately, I've been coining this phrase, 25 years in the game. I've been doing this 25 years in the game, and ain't a damn thing changed. People that had the same problems 25 years ago are exactly the same problems that people are having today when it comes to their health and fitness. So it's interesting, though. Yeah, there's more scientific research, and there's more studies have been shown, and there's different, nutrition protocols and so forth. But at the end of the day, people are still having the same problems now than they did 25 years ago. And I just think that's why it's a $1 billion industry, the health and fitness industry. is a billion-dollar industry, and it will continue to rise until we understand that it takes work and it takes commitment, and there's gonna be some pain involved, unfortunately. I mean, whoever says that changing the body is easy is just basically lying to you. There's gonna be some pain involved because you've been doing things that aren't been serving you, and you've been majoring in minor things that aren't been serving you. So there's gonna be some pain involved. So expect that it's not going to be all plain sailing. I think when people embark on a transformation and they go and hire a coach, they really think in their mind that it's going to be a smooth process. But anything worthwhile, any attainment of a goal, there's going to be challenges. There's going to be universal tests to test you along the way to see how bad you want it. But the person that has persistence, that's why I came up with the podcast, Persistence Factor. The person that has persistence and determination and will basically do exactly what their coach says, they're the ones that are going to win. And those are the ones that are going to get the permanent change. If I look at my girlfriend, Jasmine, she was 230 pounds, overweight, very unhealthy, and that she lived that way all her life. And I asked her, I said, like, she's been able to stay around the 150 range for the last 10 years, but she was willing to take her time. She gave herself a year to do it, but she had to change a lot of the inner self-sabotaging behaviors that was setting her up for failure in the beginning. But she had to do a lot of inner work, and most people aren't willing to do the inner work. They just think that's a bunch of BS. Give me the beast mode. Let me go to the gym 3 hours a day. Let me do 7 days of cardio for 2 hours. Let me go on no carbs. That's going to work, obviously. But what happens when you introduce your normal quote unquote lifestyle again? We all know what's going to happen. The weight's going to go back on again, and you're probably going to be probably even heavier than you originally started. So I use my other half as an example that it can be done. You've just got to give yourself, like I had a client come on board yesterday, and I asked him a question. I said, he's probably 60 pounds overweight. And I said, how long are you willing to give yourself to lose that 60 pounds? And he paused, he went quiet, and he said, you know what, Troy, I always give myself 8 weeks to do it. And I know that's the unhealthy way to do it. He said, this time I'm going to do this right. I'm going to give myself over a year to do this. And I was like, good on you. And I said, you deserve a round of applause. Kudos for you for doing this the right way finally.
Yes, that takes humility, and you've got to be humble in this approach because, like you said, this isn't it's not a 6-week transformation. This is a lifetime of health and fitness that's going to pay dividends if you take care of it day by day by day, and it's going to take a long time, but it will pay off, not in the short term, but in the long term.
Yeah, absolutely. What came to mind there when you said that is, I think as coaches, sometimes our clients get mad at us because we want the goal more than they want it sometimes. And I find that when you make your clients uncomfortable, they kind of rebel and they kind of have a little pity party. But I think as a good coach, you got to make your clients uncomfortable. I think being uncomfortable is what life's all about. You're either moving forwards or you're going backwards. You cannot stand still. I mean, that's just the way it is. That's just universal law. So if you want this transformation, be prepared, number one, to make a decision to go all in. Number two is you got to be prepared to get uncomfortable. And number three, are you coachable? And if you have all those three things right there, you really have the key to the vault. And those are the first three questions I ask someone when I work with them in the beginning. Are they quick to make decisions? Are they willing to get uncomfortable? And the biggest one of all, are they coachable? And if they've got all those three elements, we have something. I get excited because they've just told me that they are all in. They have all those three attributes.
That's awesome. I love that, Troy. Look, mate, I think we've covered a fair bit of information today, and I think we've really let those guys think about how they can be training when they get older. And basically, when it comes to nutrition, it doesn't change. You've just got to be making sure you're having the right type of food, focusing on the big things that are going to move the biggest pillars, and also working on that mindset with continual day after day progress. So, thank you so much for coming on, Troy. Where can people find out more about you, mate? Because you're doing a lot of stuff at the moment.
Oh, they can find me. Appreciate it. Thank you. Basically, they can find me. I have a website called apexphysiques.ca. They can find me also on Instagram. Anybody can send me a direct message. I'm very quick to respond. My handle for Instagram is the Troy Brown. My Instagram for my Apex business is at the Apex Life. And I'm also on Facebook. I have a coaching page, Coach Troy Brown. I also have an inner circle, inner circle of about over 100 men. And that's free as well. So anybody's welcome to join that. That's on Facebook. And I also have a private Facebook page as well, which is Troy Brown. So yeah, that's my social media.
Awesome. Thank you so much again for coming on today, Troy. Guys, I'm going to have where you can follow Troy all in his show notes. I highly suggest you go and give him a follow, because when you see his beast of a body, you're going to be like, wow, I want to be looking like that when I'm in my 40s too. Troy, thank you so much again for coming on, mate, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you for having me. Take care, Tyson.
Hey guys, thanks so much for listening to the episode. I really appreciate it. Now, before you go, can you please do me one favor and go to the iTunes review and leave me a 5-star rating? That way it's going to help me reach more people with their health and fitness. And if you do that, whoever leaves a 5-star rating, I'll give you a free copy of my digital book. So all you have to do is just go get a 5-star, screenshot it, send it to me via Instagram at Tyson the Trainer, and you'll get a free copy of my digital book. Thank you so much, and I'll speak to you next time.